Healthy at 70 years old? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strong Healthy Seniors. If you're new here, my name's Bill, and today I'd like to talk to you about how I improved my health later in life, and how you can too. And I'd like to share these things with you because I think it could really help many people to be healthier and to live longer. Well, 10 years ago, I felt like, I was 60 years old. I was getting close to the end of the road. Men in my family don't live long, tend to. My dad, he died in his early 60s. And I think 62. His brother, my uncle, died when he was 58 or 59. My granddad died when he was in his early 60s. And on down the line, that men in my family tend to not live long, so I felt like the odds were against me, and I need to do the best I can. And I have a history of exercising. I've exercised since I was young. I've got over 50 years of experience, and I've been a student of exercise. I would spend more time studying my workouts and planning workouts than I would actually exercising. So I was really, trying to find like the best exercise. And I, at the same time, tried to be diligent with nutrition as well, because I know that's very important too. And so, I'll tell you this, I've been, I'm a blogger. I've been a certified nutritionist and personal trainer. So I've got a science-based background as well as my experience. And a couple of studies I ran across were life-changing for me. One was, and I'm pretty sure you may have heard of this, the CDC, the American Heart Association, published in the magazine Circulation that they had a very large study, and they found a sweet spot for exercise that seemed to produce the most results for the least amount of exercise. And you may have heard this, 150 minutes, moderate physical activity per week. Listen to this, can reduce our risk of all-cause mortality, all health-related causes of death, by over 30%. 30%. Just say like 5 days per week, 30 minutes a day of moderate physical activity. That some people don't get that much. So if you can just get that much moderate physical activity in a day, it can improve your chances of reduce your chances of not getting any of these really serious health, such as heart disease, even some types of cancer, can diabetes, can help with obesity, and so many things that can cause us problems, hypertension. And so there's that study. And then there is the China study, which it's probably the most massive study in human history. And what they're trying to find out, well, I think I've got it here. I'll read it to you. Here's what I Googled and found out. I'll try to read it. My vision is not that good anymore. But the China study addressed the link between diet, chronic diseases, particularly cancers, heart disease, things like that, by examining the mortality rates and diet, concluding that a whole food, plant-based diet significantly reduces risks compared to a Western diet high in animal products. And they found that a vegan diet can prevent, reduce, and even reverse heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers, as well as many, many other health benefits. So, groundbreaking study there. And what they, the reason for this is because they saw that some countries, even some provinces in China and throughout the world, had high incidences of these terrible diseases. And other areas had almost none. And they want to find out why. Why can that be? And they found out that some countries, some areas, some provinces eat a lot of animal-based food products. And they would suffer these kinds of, the Western diet in America. The number one cause of death on this planet is heart disease, cardiovascular disease, arteriosclerosis, and as well as other detrimental health consequences due to plant-based or animal-based diets. And why is this? Well, it comes down to the cellular level. Let's talk about that just briefly. I know it's a little boring, but this is the science. And it says that the type of cholesterol found in animal products, it's LDL cholesterol, low-density lipoprotein. And of course, food is made of cells, after all, isn't it? Animals are, food is. And each cell contains this LDL cholesterol, which is the sticky, tacky type of cholesterol that collects in arteries, begins to build up and can block arteries, and that's what causes a lot of problems, as well as other factors which I don't understand completely, maybe carcinogens or additives or who knows what, found in these meat and animal products, meat and dairy, that causes these detrimental health issues. So, well, a plant-based diet is the opposite. At the cellular level of that, the cells contain HDL cholesterol, high-density lipoprotein. If you've ever had a blood test and they're looking at your test and they're saying, well, your bad cholesterol is high or low or whatever, but you're talking about your bad cholesterol, that's LDL cholesterol, animal-based food products. And that's bad. So, but your good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, plant-based, cholesterol is whatever, high or low. But they're calling the HDL your good cholesterol. You need that HDL cholesterol actually not only doesn't cause the blockage in our arteries, but it helps to clean our arteries. That's very important. I'll talk about that later. So HDL cholesterol is the good guy, and that's in plant-based foods, whole plant-based foods. So we've talked about how a little bit of exercise per day, and I'm going to show you on this channel how to do, I think, the easiest beneficial exercise program that I've seen. It's so easy that it sounds absurd. You know how the simplest things can be right in front of our eyes, and we just overlook it. We're looking around, it like can't be that obvious, It's just that simple. It's that simple, and I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it in this video. And then how to improve our diet. And I'll tell you what I found out is at first I was reluctant to do this vegan diet, and I do it now, and it's what's helped my health and reversed a lot of these, reversed pre-diabetes, lowered my high blood pressure, hypertension. I just feel so much better. I was looking at one time because I was diagnosed with arthritis and I was limping around. I couldn't hardly work. I had to stop on the way walking out of work and rest for a minute because my hip hurt so bad and my knees hurt so bad and all my joints were inflamed. And when I found out it was that blood sugar and reduced that, my glycemic index, my glycemic load, actually. And that makes it a lot easier to address is glycemic load. And so when I found out about these plant-based foods and reducing sugars, wow, I went from, I was looking for a cane or a wheelchair or something. Seriously, I was tired of moving around, and it hurting so bad. I was having to hold on to things, and it was that bad. It was terrible. And now, I'll tell you a little story. There's a neighborhood kid comes there, and he's looking for somebody to play with. And my kids are a little older, 20s and high teens. And he's asking if they can play. And I said, well, they're busy right now, but I'll play with you. He said, well, you're an old man. I said, oh, that's okay. Let's go. He said, well, we want to race? I said, yeah, let's go. So I'm racing him, people. I'm 70 years old, and I'm out here racing these little kids and doing everything for my family, feeling strong again, doing things I used to do, taking care of my loved ones, being the best I can be for my family, my friends, myself. Think how big that is. And who knows? I mean, we never know what tomorrow can be. Things can hit us. But I feel like I've got a lot better chance at living a longer, healthier, happier life. And that's why I'm here. That's why I made this channel. I made all this for you. I made all this for you. I want to help you. And if you'll just be here with me, I'll be here for you. You be here for me. And together, I know we can be better. What else have I got? Okay. Well, let's recap. We were talking about the 150 minutes of moderate physical activity. Now, let me talk about my exercise program. I've really pushed myself working out, and when you look at how they do exercise routines out here, whether it's a personal trainer or a friend of yours or what you see on the internet, you're probably trying to analyze yourself and evaluate yourself and try to find out where you can plug yourself in, because personal trainers are expensive, and you just want to progress as fast as you can. You want to know where you can begin and advance as quickly as possible, don't you? Well, I see that as a mistake, and I'll tell you why. Because it seems like some people can do that, but the vast majority of people, it's too demanding for them to try to do that, you see. Because in a big picture way, our muscles can grow quickly and adapt quickly. That's survival. That's how we're made as human beings. But that doesn't necessarily mean that our body systems can improve that quickly. Our muscles can adapt very fast to help us survive, but does that mean our heart's going to adapt that quickly? Can it change that quickly? It's probably going to take it some time. Can our blood vessels, can we build capillaries? Can we, our cardiovascular system, can it improve that quickly? It takes time. Our endocrine system, our body systems, how quickly can they adapt to us being strong relatively quickly? It's that our body systems just can't always adapt that quickly, and we end up fatigued. We overtrain. It's rampant that people overtrain. It takes more time than we're giving ourselves. It takes good nutrition, adequate rest, and not as much exercise as we're talking about, people. Let me explain that. Say you go to the gym, and say that you've evaluated yourself, and you're going to do, and this is pretty typical, maybe 5 to 10 exercises. And you're going to do, 3 to 5 sets per exercise. And you're going to do maybe 6 to 10 repetitions. Right? That's pretty typical, don't you think? I've done that a lot. I've done more than that to begin with, and it never seemed to work out. So, say 10 exercises, and say you're doing 5 rep or 5 sets each. That's 50. That's 50 there. And say you're doing 10 repetitions of each exercise. That is 10 times 50. That's 500 repetitions. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of repetitive movement. It's a, and then which exercises, when you come down to it, actually do the most good? Which ones are the most beneficial? It's usually the last one or two you do, isn't it? It's the last one that's so challenging. And so I would be doing these demanding workouts here myself. I had myself a home gym. It was pretty demanding, leg press and lat pull down and bench press. And I was working out like I was when I was 40, and I could do it a little bit, but I just wasn't being consistent. And I would end up with injuries, and my knee would hurt me. I would get the shoulder impingement from time to time, muscle strains, and I would have to quit. And then it'd be hard to get back. So, here's where I ran across this. And I've been thinking this for a long time anyway. To just go to the gym or my workout area and just do one thing. Just to keep being consistent. And that's the key to this whole thing, really. What we're doing here in this whole program is learning how to be consistent. It's not how much can we do in one day and get hurt or, lose, and not come back to it for a long time and keep this cycle of starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And no, how can we be consistent? Actually, how can we do this on a consistent basis for the rest of our life? How can we do this consistently for the rest of our life? Well, we have to find the level of exercise that we can do. And we're each different, so we'll have to find our own level. But what is the level of exercise that we need to do to be consistent? Well, you can't just jump in the middle and figure it out. You can't mentally calculate it. People, because our body systems have to adapt, we have to start at the beginning. That's the no-brainer that seems like nobody's getting, that's right in front of our eyes. We have to start at the beginning. And what is the beginning? Is it 100? When a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step? It doesn't begin with a million steps. It begins with one step. Where does our fitness journey begin? It starts with one repetition. And this progresses faster than you think. It kind of surprised me. And I'll tell you this. It surprised me how beneficial it was. Because I was thinking, I'm just trying to be consistent right now. I was a little surprised at how good I was feeling. At how I didn't have these aches and pains that I usually get with it. At how my body was adapting. You see, does it start to make sense? I just start out with one. Here's my routine that I would do. I came down, I rode my bike. There's my bike for a minute. Just to get moving. I just wasn't feeling good. I said, I just need to go down and get moving. I'm reluctantly moving those pedals, and okay, a minute. I can do that. Just lightly. I'm not pushing. I'm not intensely. No, it's just lightly. Just to get moving, get blood flowing. All of a sudden, hey, I'm starting to feel pretty good. I feel like I could work out, but I'm just going to do one. I'm just going to do one down here because I wasn't going to do anything. I'm just going to do something. And I just did one repetition. And then I stretched out a little at the end because I always love to stretch. And I put a mark on my calendar. And I patted myself on the back. And I said, I'll come back tomorrow. And I kept coming back. I came back the next day and the next day and the next day. And I kept doing this. And it was so easy, but it's so easy I couldn't not do it. A double negative. But I just I wanted to. And little by little, I started adding repetitions. I started adding exercises until I think I got up to like 9 exercises. And I was just doing 1 repetition. I was coming down, riding my bike for a minute or two, roughly a minute. Start doing this exercise, and it was in a sequence where it was really easy. It just went by so fast. And then I loved to do that stretch, and it does so many things. It helps you be flexible, it helps your balance, and draws blood into your muscles, and it just felt so good. So this routine just felt so good. I think it was creating endorphins. And the other thing I would do was I had something I really liked for a recovery drink, and I would always want it, but I would say, well, I'm going to hold off until I exercise, and I'm going to treat myself with that. It's a reward, and mentally, psychologically, I was making this to where I really wanted to do it. I really want that treat, and I really want to feel better. And I think this is just the closest you can come to an easy, beneficial workout that you really, as close as you can come to wanting to do it. And let me say this, that out of the 3, what I call the pillars of fitness and health, exercise, and this comes from our 7th grade health class, what we've always learned: exercise, nutrition, and rest. Right? That exercise is the trigger. It's the thing that kind of takes a little effort, to get going. But if you've ever exercised for a prolonged period of time, you probably realize that when you exercise, it tends to make you want to make healthier choices in your diet. It's like your body's telling you, I don't want this junk food anymore. I need something nutritious. We need to eat some nutritious food, So it's helping you make healthier nutritional choices. And when you exercise, it tends to lead to more restful sleep, to better rest. Exercise is kind of the trigger, you see. Whereas if you improve your nutrition, you'll probably feel better. But it doesn't necessarily lead to you doing an exercise program. It's just not really, human nature to want to do an exercise routine. We kind of have to make ourselves a little, It's beneficial. We have to make ourselves. And likewise, if we start getting more rest, we might feel a little better, but it doesn't necessarily make us want to exercise, do an exercise routine or to improve our nutrition. But see, exercise tends to trigger these other aspects. So I'm getting kind of close to the end of this video where I wanted to explain some things to you. But here, people, I want to tell you that I want you to join me because I'm going to show you this really easy workout. The equipment I use and the equipment you can use, it's really flexible. Just find what you can, it's really easy. And it doesn't take that much. And we'll make great benefit from this. And nutritionally, some things I've learned. I'll show you how I do it. I'll show you how to save money. I'll show you everything that I personally do. And I hope that you will share things with me because I am not the smartest person here. I know that. I'd say you're probably a lot smarter than I am. And there's a lot of smart people out here. I hope they'll join me and share their knowledge with me and us. And together, I know that this is kind of like a beginning. But together we'll make this even better. You see, and we'll be the best we can be. And I'm so excited for this. I'm so glad you joined me. And so I've got a few tips on getting better rest. That's probably the aspect that I'm the worst at, is getting good rest. But there are some tips I can I can share with you. So I believe that's it. I appreciate you joining me today. Please join me again on this channel. And tell your friends, tell your loved ones, you know. Let me say something here, that I'm not doing this like a lot of people maybe to, you know, to make a money-making video. It's not really my purpose here. I've always wanted to help people. Probably the last time I'll ever say these words here. So that's why you'll probably never hear me say things like subscribe, you know, because what that says to me, you know, subscribe to my channel so I can create this guy. That's saying to me like I need subscribers to start being monetized, you know. No, that's not what I'm doing here. Or like and hit notification, whatever, you know, whatever benefits people to, you know, do what you want to do. If you like what we're doing here, it's up to you. I'm just asking you to join me. And, you know, I'm just sharing this because I've always wanted to help people with this. I think I've got something beneficial to share. And once again, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.